Last night was the State of the Union. Biden, blah, blah, blah. We're going to give you the highlights and have more fun with it. We cut all the boring parts out, which is almost the entire State of the Union speech. But we have to weigh in on this car wreck of a man that we have as president that the media has to cover up and spin. And we're just going to dump. We got our wheelbarrow full of truth, and I'm just going to dump it all over your heads right here. Welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm Doug TenNapel. This is where the happy patriots are. Get ready. Open your mouth wide, because here comes the wheelbarrow. Joe Scarborough tweeted Biden's best speech underestimated again. And then here's Rob Schmidt. Do they have compromising photos of you or what? Trump reposted a chunk of the speech on Truth Social, but it was run through a filter from, they have these Snapchat filters that make their eyes bug out. Watch this freak show, what they did to it. And Trump reposted this on his social.
We're going to buy American. We're going to buy American. Folks, so trade rules. Buy America has been the law since 1933. Also caps and won't even go into effect until 2025. And by the way, that law was written and the benefit expires in 2025. New electric grids that are able to weather major storms and not prevent those forest fires.
I'd like to thank Donald Trump himself for reposting that on his official site. That's what he posts against the president of the United States, and I approve.
To the everyday hardworking Americans that just heard that speech, I'm sure you feel gaslit and lied to.
Here, the big controversy is what Biden got wrong about the night, but here's the first gaffe.
All Americans deserve the freedom to be safe, and America is safer today than when I took office. Year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history. It was then, through my American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against, I might add.
So that man who's yelling in the background, the media has to spin as a lunatic, but he's a Gold Star father who lost his son in Afghanistan because of Joe Biden. Here's Roby Starbuck. The man who shouted and got forcibly removed from the State of the Union was Steve Nakui. His son, Lance Corporal Kareem Nakui, was killed in Biden's botched Afghanistan withdrawal. He shouted, quote, 13 Marines, unquote. They're the ones that he abandoned and compromised at that Afghan Air Force airport. The gaslighting about Americans being safe must have infuriated him. Here he is in handcuffs, being arrested and walked out. Here's more from Robbie Starbuck. Wow, townhall.com reports that Steve Nakui was arrested and charged for interrupting Biden at the State of the Union. Biden's government is now arresting a grieving Gold Star parent because he called out Joe after Joe lied by saying he keeps Americans safe. That is a more accurate State of the Union than anything that was spoken by Biden last night. Watch Mike Johnson during that exchange. I closed up on his face so you can see his expression, his response to Biden lying.
And America is safer today than when I took office. Year before I took office, murder rates went up.
That was the what? Look.
There was, of course, the Laken Riley flub, which was just completely disrespectful.
Okay, this is a Laken Riley flub. It's about the girl Laken Riley in Georgia who got murdered by a illegal. And there was a lot of people saying, say her name last night. You saw it on Kari Lake's t-shirt earlier. You'll see it again. They have her name on it. Marjorie Taylor Greene was doing say her name. And Biden finally says her name and he calls her Lincoln Riley instead of Laken Riley.
I'd be a winner. Not really. Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed.
Can't even get her name right. But I love Margie Taylor Greene's outfit on this. She's wearing a MAGA hat and a t-shirt that says, say her name, Laken Riley. And he still couldn't say her name because he's incoherent and has dementia and his brain is mush, not because he knows what he's doing.
By an illegal. That's right.
But here, Biden does the big gaffe to the left, to the leftist. He said she's murdered by an illegal. You're not allowed to call these undocumented workers and migrants and people without a home. You're not allowed to call them illegals. And he just did it. Watch.
But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand.
And he instantly spins it on himself. Here's Margie Taylor Greene in her outfit, say her name, Laken Riley, as The Daily Show. I don't know if this is Jon Stewart running their Twitter or not, but he says something very disrespectful here. When you're a waitress at KKK Fridays, you know, you give a long leash to comedians, but there you go. Lazy, typical of The Daily Show. Should just be, again, be called Democrat headquarters show. And watch this. This is Biden when he walks up and sees Margie Taylor Greene up close. Watch his reaction to her outfit. He is freaked out. Oh, whoa. And then he sees her and she's laughing at him. There's the face of a stunned man. He has no idea where he is.
By an illegal.
Yeah, he said illegal. And that's the only thing Nancy Pelosi is upset about. And even CNN, even the mainstream media doesn't understand why she's freaking out about that word.
Now, you should have said undocumented, but that's not a big thing, okay? What's the big thing about it?
No, I actually wasn't even going to ask about that. I was just going to ask more about the moment. But you do think that he should have said undocumented? That wasn't going to be my question.
Well, we usually say undocumented. He said.
So she was asking Nancy Pelosi about the controversy of that speech and the flub, which is that he did not say Laken Riley's name correctly. He called her Lincoln Riley, couldn't even say it. And Nancy Pelosi goes, oh, yeah, there was a real flub. There was a real taboo one. He called them illegals. Here's Kari Lake wearing a Laken Riley t-shirt.
For many, the American dream is out of reach. For others, like Laken Riley, the American dream has been completely snuffed out. Laken's life matters, but you won't hear that from the propagandists in the mainstream media. I refuse to sit idly by and allow the fake news to downplay the tragic death of Laken, a motivated nursing student, taken from this world far too soon at the hands of a crazed man from Venezuela who should have never been in our country to begin with.
This breaks me up because my daughter is a nursing student here in Tennessee. And so Laken, our prayers go out to her family. Meanwhile, here's a look of Biden last night grabbing someone with a demonic look on his face. That's your president. What a hellhole. What a hellish situation we're in. We got to get this guy out of office.
When we saw Joe Biden, it was an unhinged madman who has an alternate view of reality. And in fact, it was quite remarkable to me that the mainstream media seemed to give Joe Biden some sort of participation trophy simply because he could stay up that late.
Mainstream media is giving Joe a pass just because they can't believe he lived through it. And so here's Trump on Truth Social. The story is that he got through it. He's still breathing and they didn't have to carry him out in a straitjacket. Other than that, he did not do a very good job. That's Trump on the State of the Union last night. Here's Matt Wallace on Twitter with the final post here. There's no picture that perfectly sums up the Biden administration. Oh my gosh. And there's Buttigieg. We're going to get registered. We're going to be ready to vote. Guys, who's with me? Let me know in the comments. Are you ready for the next State of the Union with Donald Trump? I'm Doug in exile.